Captain Ryan Season 2, Sadie's First Adventure.
Once upon a time, there was a little boy named Captain Ryan. He had a faithful matey Brady brother, and he had two little sisters named Nora and Sadie. And Sadie had always been too young to go on adventures with them. Ryan, Brady, and Nora had been on lots of adventures, but Sadie hadn't been on any yet. But she was finally old enough to go on an adventure with them. So they were sailing out on their pirate ship. What was their pirate ship name?
Swashbuckles.
Swashbuckles. And they were sailing out on the beautiful bright blue ocean. And Brady said, "Finally, Sadie, this is your first adventure. Are we gonna go to Sword Island to get you a magical item?"
Yes.
And Sadie said, "Oh yeah, mine's gonna be the most magical of all." And Ryan said, "I got my super fast shirt there. Brady got his jumping shoes. Nora got her shield bracelet. So I wonder what Sadie's gonna get at Sword Island."
A pink dragon.
A pink what?
A pink jaguar.
Dragler? You're gonna get a pink dragler?
Yeah.
What's that?
Or a pink
It's
dragon.
A dragon?
A pink dragon?
Dragon toy? A pink dragon toy? Yeah.
What is it gonna do?
It's gonna blow fire, right?
Yeah.
It's gonna go
Ah!
and it's gonna do stuff that she likes.
Well, anyway, Sadie was using their little spyglass, and she was looking to see if she could spot Sword Island because she was so anxious to get there. Do you know what a spyglass is, Sadie?
Yeah.
What is it? Yep, this is a spyglass, and Sadie was looking through it. And then Sadie said, "Oh, guys, I see something." And Nora said, "What? What do you see?" And she pulled the spyglass and she looked too. And she said, "Oh my goodness, I think that's a shipwreck." Do you know what a shipwreck is?
Yes, it's a ship that's broken down.
Yeah, a
It's a
ship
ship.
that has crashed
Yeah,
and it won't work anymore.
And
It's just
there might be treasure in it.
an old broken wreck. And it was kind of out in the water by a little island.
Yeah.
And Nora was looking and she said, "I think I see something else." And Brady snatched it from her and he said, "There's a boy on that boat and he's laying there like he's not moving. Maybe he's asleep or maybe he's hurt."
Or maybe he passed out.
And so Ryan said, "We better head over there and check to see if he needs help." So they sailed over and they pulled up alongside that old wrecked pirate ship and they climbed up, and when they got close to the boy, they said, "Hello, are you okay? Are you awake?" And guess what? That boy, Brady,
What? The boy what?
the boy went like this. Help, please, I'm dying." And they said, "You're dying?" He said, "Yes, please, I have a magical necklace in the captain's cabin over there, but I haven't been able to get to it. I think it's the only thing that can save me right now." And the kids were saying, "What? Oh no." So Ryan said, "Okay, you three go into the cabin and you start looking for that necklace. What does it look like?" And the boy said, "No, all of you have to go in. It's very important that all four of you go in." And he counted them. He said, "All four of you need to go in and look together because it's very hard to find. And I'm almost dead. You need it right now or else I'll probably die." And they thought, that sounds a little suspicious, but okay. So they all went into the captain's cabin and they were looking around, and Brady said, "What? There's just a bunch of junk in here." It was tons and tons of trash and junk and old gross stuff that smelled like seaweed and rotten molten things. And Brady looked through a bunch of nets and he said, "There's no necklace here." And Nora opened a treasure chest and she was looking through a bunch of soggy socks. And she said, "Gross, these stink. There's no necklace here." And Sadie said, I found a spoon. They said, Sadie, we're not looking for a spoon, we're looking for a necklace. And so they were looking, and Ryan, he was poking through a pile of papers, and he said, I don't think this makes sense. This shipwreck looks like it's been here for a long time. How did that boy get here? And then, slam! They heard the door to the captain's cabin slam shut. And they thought, what in the world? Why did that door close? And then they heard a sound outside the door, and it was a boy laughing. And he said, ha ha ha, thanks for the ship. And they said, what? Who is that? He said, yeah, by the way, there's no magical necklace in there. I just needed you to go in there so I could trap you in there and lock the door. And Brady pounded his fist on that door, and he kicked it, and he said, let us out, let us out. And Brian, he ran over and he kicked it, but it was a solid door.
And
What about their strong ring?
And Sadie went over and she went, eh, and she pushed it a tiny little bit, and it didn't do anything. And Nora, she used her shield bracelet, and her shield went boom, and it pushed her a little bit away from the door, and literally nothing they did made any difference.
what about the super strong ring?
That's what I said.
So they all tried, and just then they heard two other voices outside. It was a man and a woman, and the man said, good job, Jack. Nice job getting us this beautiful pirate ship over here. This will be way better than our little one. And there was a woman, and she said, yeah, Jack, you pretended to be dying really well. You tricked those kids really good. And Ryan, Brady, and Nora, and Sadie were in there, and Sadie started to cry. She said, why are they being so mean? Why are they going to steal our pirate ship?
And I came over to Sadie and said, it's okay, we'll get out of here and figure something out.
And Brady said, oh, they'll just wait. Let me get that super strong ring. And he was looking through his pockets, and he said, oh no, I think I left the super strong ring on our pirate ship. And
I did not do that.
And Nora said, oh no,
I didn't do that.
all of our magical stuff is on the pirate ship. Those guys are going to take everything from us.
But Nora takes her shield.
And then Sadie said, actually, and she put her hand in her little pocket and she pulled out the super strong ring. She said,
Sadie.
they said, Sadie, why do you have that? She said, it was shiny. I was just looking at it. I just wanted to see it for a little bit. And Brady said, give it to me. And Ryan said, whoa, Brady, hold on. Sadie did bring it. It was good luck that she brought it. So let's maybe let her have a turn to see if she can bust us out of here with the super strong ring. Sadie, do you want to try it? And she said, uh-huh. And so she put on that super strong ring, and her muscles got giant. She went, "Argh!" And she was so strong. And Ryan said, okay, go over and push on that door and open it up for us. And so Sadie went over to the door, and she put her hands on it, and she started pushing and pushing and pushing. And they heard a big crack, but it didn't come from the door. It was coming from the floor where they were standing. And Nora said, oh, Sadie, careful, stop pushing. But Sadie went, "Argh!" And the floor under her broke. All the boards around her broke, and she started falling. Ah! And Ryan activated his super fast shirt, and he ran over and he grabbed her hand, and he pulled her up. But guess what?
At least they got out.
No.
With the bottom, the floor.
The floor broke, but it was down into the pirate ship.
Yeah, and you can get out from the pirate ship.
And so they all looked down, and it was really dark down in there, and they could hear that there was water down in there. And Ryan said, I think maybe we can get out through the ship. Brady said, yeah, I just said that.
Yeah, I
And-
did. I literally
And Brady
did.
said, okay, I'm going to jump down. Said Ryan said, no, I'll go first just to make sure it's safe. And so he jumped down and he splashed down in the water. And he said, it's really wet down here, but I think it'll be okay. Brady, help Nora and Sadie down. And so Brady helped Nora and Sadie down
Oh, I
into
could
the
have
hole.
just threw them. Because it's water at the bottom.
Wow, Brady. Anyway, he helped them down like a gentleman.
Fine.
And they all were wading through the water and they were looking for the stairs back up to the top of the ship. But guess what?
There was none.
The stairs were broken.
What
But
if
they could see a big open space at the top that they could get through if only they could reach. And,
Brady, shoot.
and Brady said, check this out, guys. And he went, boom, and he jumped super high. He jumped all the way out of the
Wait.
hole.
now I just have to take off the boots and give them to them. So they can each do it.
No, but when Brady got up to the top of the ship, he looked around and he said, oh, perfect. He found a ladder and he lowered it down into the hole. He lowered it down into the hole.
Dad,
What?
did you
It's
have to put
It's
that?
more heroic for him to like jump down and carry the other.
So he found a ladder and he lowered it down into the hole and they all climbed up out and they were all out of the pirate ship again and they looked off to the side where their pirate ship had been and guess what they saw?
They were sailing.
It was gone.
It was so far.
They just had to grab their tiny little boat and use that to catch up.
Well, they said, oh great, Swashbuckles is really far away. And they pulled out the spyglass and Sadie was looking, she said, there's an island they're sailing towards. It looks like maybe it has like a fox head on it or something. And so all of them took a look and it looked like that pirate ship was sailing right for an island that had a fox head as a mountain on it. And Ryan said, oh, that's Fox Island. I don't think I've ever been there before, but it looks like maybe they're heading towards there. He said, but how are we going to get there? We don't have any ship.
I literally just said
You can use the
that
tiny
you could
ship.
use their other tiny ship.
So they looked around and they didn't see any tiny ship around them. All they saw was this big old hunk of junk. The shipwreck that they were on.
You know, clothes and boards can float.
Uh-huh. So they said, wait, didn't those guys say that they had a little ship? This can't be it. They couldn't have sailed this here. This has been here for too long. So where's their little ship? So they all split up and they all started looking.
If they couldn't find it, then they could each just
Use a board.
use boards and just paddle there.
You think that they could paddle all the way to the island on little boards?
No.
Yeah.
That would take them for, how are they supposed to catch up to them to get their pirate ship back? And so they all were looking, and pretty soon they found a little rowboat. It was hidden under some palm leaves. And they got it out and they said, oh, perfect. This one will definitely float. And guess what? Sadie walked over and she picked up the whole boat by herself. She had the super strong ring on her finger. And she said, where do you want the boat, guys? And she walked it all the way down to the water and she put it in. And they all hopped in. And Brady said, just one problem, guys. And Nora said, don't we have to have those little paddle thingies? And Ryan said, they're called oars.
I have an idea.
No, I have an idea.
But there were no oars
You
in the boat.
could grab the boards on the ship and paddle with those.
No, Ryan, super fast shirt. When he activated, he can run on the water and push them.
Or Sadie could grab one of the boards because she has the super strong ring.
So Ryan said, everybody get in. I've got an idea. And he activated his super fast shirt, and
And
he
so-
started running on top of the water, and it was like they were on a speedboat. Just sailing like crazy towards that island. And Nora had the spyglass, and she said, "That looks like they stopped at that island. Man, we're gonna catch them." But they were really far away, but they were catching up. And so as Nora was watching, she said, "Wait, no, it looks like they're going around." And their pirate ship sailed all the way around Fox Island to where they couldn't see it anymore. So they sailed around Fox Island, and when they got to the other side, they saw Swashbuckles, and it was pulling up to a dock. Do you know what a dock is?
Yes, it's like a little board thing that where pirate ships you can tie a rope to, and your pirate ship will stay, and you can like walk over.
Yeah, it's like a little parking spot for a pirate ship. And so they saw it, and they said, "Oh man, we're almost there." But Ryan was getting really tired because he'd been running for a long. Ryan was getting really tired because it had been running for a long time. And so he was so tired when they finally got there. It was almost nighttime when they got there. And he laid in the boat at the bottom, and pretty soon they drifted up towards Swashbuckles, and they all climbed out. And Ryan said, "Quiet as crabs now, guys. You gotta walk sideways up the gang ramp." And they went on board, and they listened to see if those 3 other people that stole their pirate ship were still on the ship. But guess what? They didn't hear anybody. There was nobody there on the ship, Sadie.
What?
And so they quietly lifted the anchor and set the sails and started leaving. And as they were leaving, they heard somebody yelling, "Hey, that's our ship! Bring it back!" And Brady yelled, "Never was and never will be. This is our ship, Swashbuckles. We'll see ya." Or maybe not. And they sailed past Fox Island, and as they were sailing past, guess what?
They came.
The black fox stopped them.
Nope, they didn't see anything, but guess what? There was something watching them as they sailed past. A pair
Someone
of
in the ship.
green eyes.
Someone in the ship.
But they sailed home and told their mom and dad about their adventurous day. Sadie was sad though because they didn't get to go to Sword Island. And she said, "Am I going to get to go again?" And they said, "Yeah, you'll get to go one day. And you'll get your magical item. Don't worry." But this was a full day. We had probably too much adventure today. And they went to bed. The end.
Did you know that this episode is also a YouTube video? Come check out our YouTube channel to see it. And thanks for listening.